Welcome to our webinar by CustomizedTrading.com, where support and resistance is critical to profitable trading. Let's take a look at this critical issue. There's two very good ways to look at support and resistance. This is kind of a combination that shows many different things all on your chart in real time. So you can see that this is a E-mini Russell, and you can see that it basically is bounced off of this first half hour low here multiple times, and it's also bounced off of this first hour high multiple times here. Then it's come up and it's stopped at the weekly resistance 1 and the daily resistance 1. You'll notice that as I drag this chart, we have the prior day high, we have the 20-day high, the weekly floor trader pivots like R1 and the daily floor trader pivot R1, and then R2, that's daily, R3 daily, weekly R2. So as you keep going up here, there's it looks like that's about it on the top side. On the bottom side, we have the prior day close, we have the central pivot or pivot point, we have the rolling pivot, the 8-day SMA, S1, the weekly central pivot, the prior day low, S2 daily, the weekly S1, S3, the 21-day SMA, the weekly S2, the 50-day SMA, the 100-day SMA, the 200-day SMA. So you can see that there's a lot of different potential support and resistance points, but what's really interesting is when a group of them come together, that ends up making it a more powerful situation than when there's just one resistance point or support point. So that's a really good aspect of this particular system, where it shows the floor trader pivots, the prior day highs, lows, closes. It shows the 20-day moving averages, the 20-day highs, a number of things all together. Now, the real-time support and resistance is shown with our fractal channel. Our fractal channel, and it's also an extremely powerful way to determine how to manage a stop. This is actually one of our automated exit systems based on the fractal channel, where you can see when we got into a trade, upon the breakout, as this fractal channel changed colors from red to green, and then the candlesticks came down to where the support was at the green line. When it broke back above this high, swing high, that was the entry point. And you can see that the exit system can exit on one of three things. It can exit on the across of the green line, which usually is a little too tight. You'll have little ticks and like this and this that knock you out of the trades prematurely. So that's why as this develops into profit, it starts lagging or has a stair step down below the price that gives it an amount to allow you to stay in the trade. So that's actually what's being used here, is that yellow line. And if you think you're going to be in a trade even longer, you can go to the brown line. So there's three settings to exit at the fractal line, to exit at the yellow, or to exit at the brown. In this case, we had it set to exit the yellow, and the exit was right there when it hit that. Now, the thing that's interesting about this fractal channel is when you're in an uptrend, there really is no resistance on the top side, because that's the definition of a trend. You expect higher highs like this, that's exactly what it's doing, higher highs and higher lows. So the only thing that really applies is the support, and we color that support green and stair step it up as it develops it. And you can see that at times it will actually show you, like here was the real-time display of where support developed, and then it came down and touched that. Well, that's a beautiful re-entry into the trend. If, like this, beautiful re-entry into the trend. It sat right on the support and then took off back into the trend. Now, the same thing holds true for the downside. When you have a downside move, there really is no support. So the support line goes away. It shows where it would have been with the blue, but the only line that really applies is your resistance. And this becomes the resistance line in a downtrend. So it shows the directionality of the uptrends and downtrends and shows where the real-time support or resistance is for your trading. You can use this for breakout trades like this. You can use it for scalping trades, all kinds of entries, but it works really well for placement of your stop loss. It's one of the magnificent things about it. And like we demonstrated earlier, this is actually an automated strategy for exits, because a lot of traders find that they're pretty good at entries. You know, they can do real well at that, but once they get into the trade, that monotony of sitting there watching it gets their emotions going, and they're tending to take their profits too quick. They're tending to sit on their losses too long, and you can see that this basically does neither, because it keeps moving up and it takes the profit. So instead of getting knocked out, you know, and a person taking their profit prematurely, that trade went on for 3 days, you know, and would have made a tremendous amount of money. So thank you for joining us on this webinar. Make sure to tune in to many of the other webinars that we have, all brought to you by CustomizedTrading.com. And feel free to contact us or see the others in the series that we offer. Thank you.